What's going on, everyone? So today we have the Moza Aircross 2 against the Moza Air 2. We're going to take both these out for a little competition between the two, throw the footage into the video, and see what you guys think. So yeah, let's do this. So the Aircross 2 is a new gimbal that I've added to my inventory within the past couple months. I've really come to enjoy it. Now the Aircross 2 can hold up to 7 pounds of camera weight, as well as it weighs about a little over 2 pounds. Plus the battery life on it is around 12 hours of life. Now I've noticed that I really enjoy the new battery setup on this one by the fact that it now has the battery module built into the handle that is swappable, as well as you can charge it straight there, or you can charge it through the plug on the side there. That is awesome to me because the previous issue I had with the Moza 2 is the fact that it takes these particular cylinder type batteries. It takes 4 of them, so there's no recharging like while you're on the go or anything like that. If they go dead, you have to stop, take this off, take these 4 out, replace them with another 4, and you're back in business. Now, the Moza Air 2 has around 16 hours of battery life, so another 4 hours of battery life there. The payload weight is just over 9 pounds is what they estimate, and then the gimbal weight itself is around 3.5 pounds. So there's quite a bit of difference between these two. 3.5 pounds in weight, just a little over 2 pounds in weight, so there's a big difference in weight there. This holds a little over 9 pounds of camera weight. This holds a little over 7 pounds of camera weight. Now, I was never able to get the C300 Mark II on here, not because of the weight issue, but because I couldn't get it balanced because there's not enough spacing between here and no matter how far this will slide forward, there just wasn't enough space in between there. Even with the C70, it's too close to be able to, kind of pivot back and forth. So I wasn't able to get it balanced on here either. So neither of these to me are made for any type of cinema camera setup, unless it's like a Blackmagic Pocket cinema camera or something like that. That's quite a bit smaller body, then it can handle fine. But as far as larger camera bodies, I have used the Canon Mark IV on here, worked fine. I've used the Canon Mark IV on here and it was good as well, depending on what lens you use and of course getting it balanced. The Moza 2 is a little bit more limited as far as the plate setup here. The Moza Aircross 2 actually comes with this little L plate built in, so you can literally keep your camera on here, unscrew this, flip it up, and you've got a vertical setup now, which is pretty cool. So if you're shooting vertical videos, this is definitely a lot friendlier than the Moza Air 2. I would say most people using either of these systems are probably going to be using lighter weight cameras anyway, so weight capacity to me, not really that big of a deal. But again, 7 pounds, a little over 9 pounds weight limit there. And then you get 12 hours of battery life as opposed to 16 hours of battery life. But with the Aircross 2, you have the new battery style. So if you start running short on battery, you can either swap these out or you can actually plug in a charger right here and keep things going. Both systems have the control wheel here, which allow you to be able to control like your follow focus and so forth. Both systems have joysticks. Both have USB-C as far as charging and kind of somewhat connectivity, but as far as connecting from the gimbal to the camera, they jump back to the original kind of USB mini, and then that will convert to either C or micro or whatever kind of camera plug that you have on there. Neither of these I could get working with my Fuji. I don't know if that's an issue with just my Fuji or that these gimbals just don't control it. But plugging in from here to the Fuji, I was able to get extra battery life, which is pretty cool. Now, as far as usability between both of these units, I do have to say I've been using the Aircross 2 a lot more than the Air 2, primarily because it is sleeker, it's lighter, and to me it's a little bit easier to use. The Air 2 is still a great competitor, but I literally have not used it since I've gotten the Aircross 2. The other thing I really like about the Aircross too is that it has locks for each axis. So you've got a lock here which controls this one, you've got a lock here to this one, and a lock here. Makes that so much easier when trying to balance things. As opposed to the Air 2, the only lock they have is right here, which locks that axis. Otherwise, everything else will move around as you're trying to balance or even transport. It makes it a bit more difficult. Now the Aircross 2 is a lot easier to transport because all you gotta do is, take the tripod off and flip this however you need to, and it can literally fit in a shoulder bag majority of the time. Now the Air 2 was always more of the competitor for like your Ronin S. The Aircross 2 is more of a competitor for the DJI RC2. Now I haven't used the DJI RS2 yet, so I can't comment on how it compares to either of these, but that review will be coming. Now as far as price point goes, here's the interesting thing. Because the Air 2 is quite a bit older than the Aircross 2, it actually has more value in it right now. Now the Aircross 2 is right around 400 bucks. On Amazon, sometimes you can find it around 380. Every once in a while it'll be on sale. The Air 2 is currently around 420 on Amazon, but not only do you get the gimbal with the Air 2, but you also get their little iFocus, follow focus setup, which is a pretty cool deal. So 420 with a follow focus, 400 just the gimbal. I can't really recommend doing one or the other because both of them offer quite a bit of value in both areas, considering 420 bucks and you get a follow focus and a little bit higher payload, but an older system. The Aircross 2, 400 bucks, and it's a great gimbal, newer technology, better battery setup, easier to calibrate. So it's got pros and cons between the two. You really have to try them out for yourself and see what works. So here we go. We're gonna take these out. We'll throw the video on here and I'd love to hear you guys' response. All right, so what do you think? Please make a comment to let me know what you've noticed between these two gimbals. Again, camera settings was exactly the same, lens was exactly the same, all of that was exactly the same. The only differences were the actual gimbal themselves. I'd love to hear your comments about what you noticed between the footage between the two units, as well as if there's any particular gimbals that you use that you absolutely love. Please make a comment below. I'd love to hear your input. And if you've used these and you have anything, pros and cons that you've noticed, please make a comment as well. So that's it. Please subscribe, and until next time, we'll catch you all later, and please be safe.